had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever you celebrate, Festivus. I just wanted to give a shout out and say thank you to Santa for bringing me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Collector's Pack. So this is a reissue of all the 1988 Playmates toys, the original 6. Let's open this up and take a look. So we have, first off, Splinter. And it's got all the original artwork on the back. Michelangelo. Leonardo. Shredder. Raphael. And Donatello. So I remember these being released, like I said, they were back in 87, 88? 88. I probably got my first one around 89. I remember seeing the first 6-part miniseries that came out, which was the original 6 episodes. Those originally just had come out to sell the toys, and it was such a hit, obviously. We were all there when that happened. Well, most of us were alive and around there when it happened. That it became a full-fledged series, multiple movies, multiple cartoon shows, and it all really started with 2 comic book fans, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, starting this comic in their living room just because they wanted to do something fun. They didn't really think it was going to go anywhere. They borrowed a couple $1,000s, I think it was, from one of their uncles to get the first issue done. They only released, they were only able to print 32, almost 3,300 copies, which all sold out. So they did a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th printing. If you ever got your hands on one of those original first printings, there were thousands and thousands of dollars, depending on the print, the quality of it, obviously. But from then on, like that was in 84, I believe, 84, 85, the comic came out, which is still going strong. There's multiple different variations of the comic, or different storylines. It's been picked up by different companies and that. But originally it was Mirage Comics that they had started. And then around the mid to late 80s, that's when the toy companies, Playmates, got involved. And they went to Kevin Wolf, I think it is, or Wolf Productions, and that's where they created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon that you can kind of see playing right there. Now, the big difference they made with going from the comic books to the cartoons was originally all the turtles had red bandanas. They didn't like that because kids wouldn't be able to tell each character apart. So they switched it up. So Leonardo got blue, Michelangelo got yellow, Donatello got purple, and Raphael stayed with the red. From there, they introduced different characters as well, like Krang, Bebop, Rocksteady, because the Turtles needed someone to fight every week. And it was a little more comedic and child-based compared to the comics that were a lot more dark. In fact, in the first episode, they kill Shredder off. So it's kind of dark. It's kind of like the original, the first movie that came out. That was more based on the comics than it was off the original cartoon show. So I know, some of us were probably 6, 7 years old and went to go see that, and I know I was a little confused, but I loved it. Still today I've watched it recently, and it holds up. Like it's a great movie. Jim Henson and his company were involved in making the Turtles. Those were all guys in those suits, doing those fighting moves and all that. Now, when they went to the second movie, it was okay, but again, it was a lot more child-oriented. And if you actually pay attention, the Turtles don't actually use their weapons in the second one because, censors thought it was too violent and whatnot. In fact, due to the whole violence and censorship, you may see some products saying Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because in the UK they weren't allowed to say ninja, because ninja is actually a hired assassin. so it was deemed too violent. And if you see any of those episodes, you'll see that most of the turtles weren't able to use their weapons, and I believe Michelangelo wasn't allowed to use his nunchucks, so they censored a lot of that out. And even in the North American releases in the later seasons, you start seeing him using like a grappling hook instead of the nunchucks, because again, it was deemed too violent, and production costs were too much to have to, you know, redo different versions for different reasons. So yeah, little fun tidbits. Just wanted to share what I received. I was a big Turtles fan as a kid. In fact, one of my biggest regrets as a kid was I wanted the Ninja Turtle playset so bad, like the sewer playset. And I remember asking for it for a couple years for Christmas, birthdays, never got it. And then one year, my parents said to me, okay, if you do good on your report card or whatever it was, we'll buy it for you. So I got my report card in, I showed it to them. They were like, okay, we promised you, let's go and get it. So I remember going down to a place, it was called Consumers Distributing back in the day. It was kind of like a pre-internet Amazon. So what they did is they had this giant warehouse in the back, and they had this catalog, and you'd say, okay, I want this item, and you'd go and get it. And I remember going there, and they were like, oh, you know, we're out of stock, we probably won't have it for another week or so. And, you know, me being 6 years old, I was kind of, you know, really kind of disappointed. And my parents, not realizing how much I really wanted this or how important it was, they were like, well, why don't you just get something else? Like, we'll buy you, you know, you like Batman, how about we get you a Batman thing? And that was when the Batman movies had come out, and I got the Batwing, which was like his jet. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, it's a toy, I was excited, didn't realize what was happening at that point. So got home, put it together, played with it, and after about an hour, I was just not happy with it. I was like, okay, put it aside. It just kind of collected dust, and I think it disappeared to a garage sale one year. But never did get the playset. I built playsets out of, you know, boxes and this and that, and colored it. So again, first world problems, not the end of the world, but still something I would have liked to have as a little Rutz growing up. But no big deal. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be sharing a lot of stuff on, I'll put pictures of everything on Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to check those out, and if you guys want, I'm also been streaming a lot of retro video games on Twitch, so at Retro Ruts, so you can check me out there. Well, if I don't see ya, everybody be safe. You know, we'll get through this whole COVID thing one day, and we'll eventually see each other again. And have a happy new year. Take care.